Good afternoon and welcome to news at 1 p.m. on GNTV. My name is Anthony Simpson. Let's take a look at the headlines. Ghana card registration finally begins at Jubilee House. Forgive us, Anita De Soso begs Rollins on behalf of NDC. Legislature tasked to revisit LI for mental health. And Nigeria hunt for 180 escaped prisoners. Now, this and many more make up for the stories for today's news. And now to our first story there. It may be a week late, but officials of the National Identification Authority, NI, have finally begun the registration and instant issuance of the Ghana card at the presidency. Officials were at the Jubilee House to register staffers after the false start on Monday, May 28th. Now, we apologize for that video problem there, but we bring back the story again. Founder of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, and leader of the June 4th uprising, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, has once again established that the NDC needs to go back to strategies that gave the party victory in previous elections. According to him, the NDC keeps doing same things that led to their defeat in 2016. Now, he made the statement as he delivered a keynote address at the Durbar of cadres and activists, climaxing activities marking the 39th anniversary of the June 4th uprising on Monday.
Ghana's history has it that the military government of the Supreme Military Council SMC2 of General F.K. Ekufu put then Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings on public trial for attempting to overthrow the government on May 15th in 1979. This happened because Rawlings, a junior soldier in the Ghanaian army with other soldiers, was refused to be given their salaries. Rawlings turned the trial against the government by accusing it of massive corruption and requesting that his fellow accused be set free as he was solely responsible for the mutiny. He was incarcerated for sentencing. After the PMP was violently overthrown on 31st December 1981, the PNDC government declared both Revolution Day 31st December and June 4th as public holidays by a yearly ritual of executive flats and not by legislation. Parliament in 2001, dominated by the MPP, passed the current Public Holidays Act, which repealed and replaced PNDC 220 and removed June 4th as a public holiday from the statute books. With this, every holiday that marked the violent military overthrow of any government in Ghana was finally and rightly removed from the country's statute books. On Monday, 4 June 2018, the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, marked June 4th at the Medina Social Welfare Park in Accra. The celebration witnessed June 4th cadres represent in their numbers to join former President Jerry John Rawlings to mark the occasion. In an address by the former president, he admonished all party members to respect party rules and fight for a common goal.
Some people with deeply malicious motives within our party have, over the past 12 years especially, consistently spewed falsehood about our own history and attempted to downplay the story of June 4th. Indeed, many of these personalities have shamelessly dissociated themselves from our history in a bid to create the impression that it is a blot on the image of the party. It is that suicidal tendency that has brought us to where we are today. Today, the social democratic credentials that give birth to the party are lost on many of us.
According to him, the NDC is still repeating same mistakes that took the party into opposition in the 2016 elections.
Elitism, and gross display of affluence have almost engulfed us, and as I stated in 2017, we are still at the crossroads. Ladies and gentlemen, June 4th represents a force that cannot be erased. June 4th is not about the semantics of probity, accountability, freedom, justice, truth, and integrity. It is about a unified force and power that can move mountains. It is a force that defies negativity and revolves on a fulcrum of ordinary people's power.
Now the question is, what significance is the observation of the June 4th revolution to the country's democracy?
President Rawlings there lambasting the members of the party he founded. Now, on to other related stories. Deputy Chairperson of the Opposition, National Democratic Congress, NDC, Anita DeSoso, has pleaded with former President Jerry John Rawlings to forgive members of the party who have been jabbing him from all angles. Now, in an address delivered by the chairperson during the 39th celebration of the June 4th in Accra, she stated that former President John Rawlings must be appreciated and respected, being the founder and father of the National Democratic Congress.
The National Democratic Congress, the NDC, denied allegations by its founder, Jerry John Rawlings, that the party's ongoing elections have been fraught with widespread malpractices which have compromised the process. In a statement, Mr. Rawlings called on aggrieved candidates to petition the national headquarters for a quick resolution. He added that the party risks being disunited if officers continue to interfere with the election process, creating an unequal playing field. However, the NDC's General Secretary, Johnson Asiru Nketia, said although there were some challenges, steps are being taken to address them. The General Secretary said he has already explained the development to the former president and is surprised at his comments. The former president believes the NDC as a party is still doing same things it did that led them to losing power, but some party members have tagged him as a talkative. In an address by the deputy chairperson of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, Anita DeSoso, pleaded with him to forgive members of the party who keep disregarding his position in the party and keep rubbing his name in the mud.
There is division at the Keda front. So what are we doing to make sure that our father one day will be remembered? He loved the Akeda so much and the party so much. So I wish we try to reconcile in order to come back 2020. Because I can't remember, cadets during elections go to the rural areas, campaign, they don't even care where to sleep or what to eat. But at the end of the day, when we come to power, we don't recognize them. So cadets, try and unite. Try and unite. So that in future, if God helps and we win, you can also have the opportunity to serve this great country. Now to my father. Founder, I know your children we have heard. And I also know you are a human being. You have also done something maybe It's not right. And I was so happy when I heard you saying that when you brought a statement out, rendering apology. You are a hero. You are a hero. You are a hero. This shows that what you have taught me is still within me. If you are a leader, be prepared to say, I'm sorry. If you are a child, be prepared to say, Daddy, I'm sorry. So I will take this opportunity on behalf of the party to kneel down before my dad. Please, forgive us. Let's come together to build this country. Thank you very much.
The founder of the ruling National Democratic Congress, Jerry John Rawlings, has once again jabbed his party in an indirect manner that will be subjected to various interpretations by social commentators. To the former president, those greedy bastards in connivance with the babies with sharp teeth have now developed into old evil dwarfs who are apparently wreaking havoc on the nation's progress.
Anita, what does that make of us? Anita, me frauti unti. Anita, see me and papa. Me and papa susuke. In spite of all these, but she's getting too fair. I see, I am about it in my mentor. Actually, you never met in a Nagasamia, Papa. Young people want this is a target for power.
Now, still on June 4th, governance and policy analyst Kofi Kokobo has stated that there's no gap between Jerry John Rawlings as the NDC founder and the NDC party itself. Speaking in a phone interview on the first show, he mentioned that the expression, or the ex-president, I beg your pardon, is the father figure of the party who speaks his mind to make sure the party does not deviate from the path it originated from.
Former President Jerry John Rawlings has commemorated the 39th June 4th uprising with a call on members to defend the revolution and fight against corruption in the country. This year's theme was reorganizing towards the core values. Speaking on the relevance of the founder to the party, Kofi Kokobo, when asked about what he thought of the former president's speech, indicated that it was not about the personality of the president, but about the core values of the party in general.
With the grassroots, he speaks his mind, and that's all about the founder. He has never left the party or abandoned the party and trying to come back whereby we say there's a gap. There's no gap. He has always been insisting or speaking as the father figure of the party to make sure that the party does not deviate from the path that the party originated from. So when you say a gap between the front and the party, I don't really see. It is about the core values that endeared the party to the people of this country in the previous year. So therefore, it is very important that they return to the core values to engender trust in the voter. Certainly, he made it clear that when he talk about core values, it is not about he, Jerry John Rawlings. He has no faction, and he does not intend to have any faction within the party. But anytime he speaks or anytime the name John Rawlings comes up, it is because of the core values that he always espouses, and that is what he will continue to do. So he is not in the party to contest for any position or to create division in the party.
According to him, anytime the founder speaks on what he believes in, some people take offense, but that's just how he speaks. Speaking on Deputy Chairperson of the Opposition National Democratic Congress, NDC, Anita Desoso's begging of the ex-president does not indicate that the ex-president has issues with the party.
Well, I see that there's no gap. If the Vice Chairperson apologized, it's because he has made certain position very clear. Is any time the founder speaks about core values, I think some people perceive it that he's attacking certain people. As we all know, since 1979, His Excellency George Rawlings speaks in a very aggressive and a very passionate manner. So some people misconstrue that, oh, he's attacking a personality or insulting a person, but that's how he expresses himself at all times. Not that at certain times, at all times, since time immemorial, that's how he expresses himself. Now, what Anita Besoso did yesterday as a chairperson, because as of yesterday, she was the most senior person there. So the party was involved, and the party was given an allocation to speak. So she, being the most senior person, spoke on behalf of the party. That in case of anything that he feels the founder might have been offended, because maybe the party might have deviated from the core values that has led to maybe the deplorable and the sinful loss in 2016, and maybe other things that he may not be happy about.
Rawlings, who is the founder of the NDC, told the Soso at the ceremony held at Medina Social Welfare School Park on Monday, June 4, 2018, that her fair complexion is becoming unnatural and therefore must put an end to using bleaching creams and soaps.
Now, still on June 4th, some members of the minority in Parliament have stated that it is sad the radical approach by ex-President Jerry John Rawlings to eradicate corruption, which led to June 4th uprising, has still not had the desired impact on the elimination of this canker in the country. Now, the minority MPs were highlighting the rationale behind the June 4th revolution.
June 4th will always, it will forever be remembered. And so, what I would say is that Ghanaians, we should know that we are individual human beings with different ways of thinking. And so, I think that was what June 4th brought. So today we are all enjoying it. We can only say that as a people, let's continue to stay together. Let's continue to respect individual views. Let's continue to bring our ideas together as individuals to build a better Ghana. Corruption, that has become the song of these days. Almost every day, every hour, every minute, every second, you tune to a radio station, the word corruption is mentioned. It is alarming. I think it is something that we are all concerned about. And so, former President John Rawlings is a fine gentleman. He has lived his life, worked hard to please Ghanaians, to move Ghana forward, to ensure Ghana. His time he wanted Ghana to be corruption-free. And so he did all he could. Unfortunately, we are human beings. And so, I would say that he shouldn't expect to get people think and behave exactly like him, because we are individuals. But we are not doubting the legacies he left for Ghana. And so, Ghana, if we will go forward, I think President Rawlings started it. We should always be mindful that that man wanted Ghana to be corruption-free, but because we are human beings, we cannot have it. And even he himself is a human being. And so he cannot say he has never been corrupted. No, he's a human being. It's only God who can say that. Yeah.
I want us to know that the June 4th will ever remain in the history of Ghana. And the history of Ghana will never be completed without Jerry John Rawlings. History of Ghana will never be completed without Jerry John Rawlings. And if anybody says June 4 will die, or it will die off, it will not be remembered, it will not be in existence of our Ghanaian history, the person is a joker. And I also want to say that June 4th is an important day whereby this country, our constitutional government was overthrown, and then a military junta came into power, and then cleaned this country and made the people to understand that corruption is not good in our system. Rollins made people to understand that corruption is not good in our system. Rollins made them to understand that Ghanaians were corrupt. And we really were corrupt. And he cleaned Ghana as a country. But we've gone back the days before Rollins came in June 4th. And the June 4th, the relevance of the June 4th, we don't see it important today. We don't see it relevant today because Ghanaians have forgotten. If former head of states could be shot and one of them was just owing 50 Ghana cedis, that is 50 million old Ghana cedis. Today is 5,000 Ghana cedis, which I can just put it in my pocket and then just go and buy fuel or just go and sit down in a bar and drink, and that is the end of it. But today, we the politicians, including me, we are more corrupt. People have ditched the state purse in trillions of Ghana cedis, and they are going scot-free. And that is where former President Rollins is so aggrieved to the extent that sometimes you feel like exploding.
Now, we're going to take the Ghana card story again. It may be a week late, but officials of the National Identification Authority (NI) have finally begun the registration and instant issuance of Ghana card at the presidency. Officials were at the Jubilee House to register staffers after the false start on Monday, 28th May.
The Ghana card registration again failed to launch last Monday despite the NIA's assurances. The three arms of government, former heads of state, journalists and security officials were to be the first to be issued cards before registration opened to the general public. The NIA subsequently apologized to the presidency and the other institutions for its inability to issue the Ghana card, blaming it on technical difficulties. According to the NIA, it was unable to start the registration and issuance of the card as announced due to technical difficulties. In a statement, the NIA said that it would outline the challenges it faced in due course. Monday's failure marked the fifth time the NIA had missed an announced deadline. The registration project is to cost $293 million. The NIA is expected to complete issuance of the National Identification Card to Ghanaians within a period of 1 year. Within the period, the state is expected to commit $124 million for the project, while the project partner will commit $169 million.
Now, News at 1 continues after this break. We'll be right back.
Do you want increase in sales? Or do you want to draw attention? Then mobile advertising vans from DigiCart is your best bet. Our mobile advertising vans come with crisp digital images and visually impactful in the night and in the day. Reach your target audience where they live, work and play. Contact us on 0303-393-6020 or 050-132-8707.
DigiCart's creativity in motion.
In the future, every child, man, woman in every corner of the world will be connected. Anything that you want to know will be available at the snap of a finger. The future brings endless possibilities, but we must never forget who we are, Ghanaians. Now, who is excited about the future?
The future is here. Experience the all-new GN Electronics Smart TV. Experience international quality assembled right here in Ghana. For more information, contact 050-144-9465. GN Electronics. Good quality comes from home.
Welcome back from the break. You're still watching News at 1 with me, Anthony Simpson. Now, the Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry, has announced that President Akufo-Addo has committed 800 million Ghana cedis for the immediate needs of the Ghana Police Service. He indicated that this is outside the allocated budget to the security services, addressing personnel of the Ghana Police Service as part of his working visit to the security service in the Eastern region. He noted that government is working towards the provision of logistics and improving their conditions of service to enable them carry out their operations effectively.
The working visit of the Interior Minister in the Eastern region took him to the Ghana National Fire Service, the prisons and the Ghana Police Service. It was meant to help the Interior Minister acquaint himself with the challenges of the personnel in the security service and address them. In his welcome address, the Regional Commanding Officer of the Ghana Police Service, DCOP Alphonse Edu Amankwa, pledged the commitment of the service in ensuring that there is peace and cohesion among the security services in the region. The Interior Minister Ambrose Derry stated that government has acknowledged the role the police officers are playing in maintaining peace in the country and asked the public to cooperate with the police to enable them execute their work in the line of duty effectively.
And please, men and women, it is more than a pat on the back. Mr. President is consistent in his appreciation and expression of gratitude to the police, and also asking for the support of the public to cooperate with the police to enable you to do your work.
He underscored the need of peace and cohesion to consolidate the program of economic development of the government. He announced that the Police Council has cleared all outstanding debt from 2000 to date and has granted all police officers who are due for promotion, regardless of financial implication that it might cost the country. He added that the president has committed 800 million Ghana cedi outside the budgeted allocation for immediate needs of the police.
The president, we are not satisfied. We want to make sure that we give you the opportunity to do even better. So today I come to the Eastern region in consonance with the style of my president, who comes to the grassroots. I've come to you people today not to talk to you, yes, talk to you.
Ambrose Derry also noted that government is working hard to provide necessary logistics to the police service for their operations.
Now we go into the world of business with Adam Kungwe.
Welcome to the business segment with me, Adam Kungwe. Now, Deputy Minister of Communications George Anda has indicated that there are still some spectrum blocks available and has therefore urged telecom companies who are interested in further enhancing their operations to take advantage of it.
According to the Deputy Minister of Communications, growth in data usage globally for services provided online requires adequate spectrum and lower cost of deployment to reach majority of citizens with data services at affordable prices. He further indicated that in view of intensifying growth of data, there was a need for faster internet, and it was more important that the country takes full advantage of the value-added services offered by the 4G LTE spectrum devices. Speaking at the launch of MTN's IPO, he added that government appreciates the immense role being played by the industry to ensure that the right infrastructure was available to propel the country's digitization, a demonstration of mutual collaboration between the country and good corporate governance, which would further deepen its commitment to the Ghanaian telecom market.
Government appreciates such complementary roles being played by the industry to ensure that the right infrastructure mix is available to propel our digitization agenda. I wish to further indicate that there are some spectrum blocks still available in the 800 megahertz band for sale. Now that telcos who are interested to enhance their operations and offerings to the Ghanaian people should take advantage of this.
Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yofi Grant, has commended the MTN Group for launching its initial public offering in Ghana, even though the country is not its largest market. Speaking at the launch of MTN Ghana share offer, Yofi Grant indicated that MTN's IPO is so far the largest localization of any business in Ghana.
While the GIPC has been seeking to build the capacity of Ghanaians as a way to make the country more and more attractive to investors, MTN has joined the course to help resolve the issue of engaging and building capacity in Ghanaians by opening up the company to allow every Ghanaian own a stake of the telecommunication giant, even though Ghana is not its largest market. Speaking at the launch of the MTN Ghana share offer, Yofi Grant, the CEO of the GIPC, indicated the move by the telecommunication giant, which is by far the largest localization of any business in Ghana, will help develop the economy.
Ghana is really attractive as a country. After an average GDP growth of somewhere around 6% for 5 years, last year we got our highest over a certain period of 8.5% growth. Exceeding our own target of 7.9% growth. And as I mentioned, that was on the back of difficult but very transformational economic policies, making sure we have a stable macroeconomic environment, but also setting the economy for irreversible, sustainable growth. And so we are indeed very happy that despite the fact that we are not your largest market, you've decided to do your IPO in Ghana and localize the economy such that Ghanaians have a good part of it.
He further urged Ghanaians to take advantage of the opportunity to join a dynamic company that is very transformational and plays a very critical role in the economy with many interventions, adding that such dynamic traits is what will help to boost economic development and make the economy even more competitive.
For us at GIPC, and I dare say on behalf of government, we are very appreciative. Because one of the issues that we've had is as we become more and more attractive, how do we engage our own people and build capacity in them? And I dare say that there's no better demonstration of local content than having a significant IPO where you give priority to Ghanaians.
And that's it for Business with me, Adam Kungbe. Up next is sports.
2-on-1, I am right, Nana, proceed, Amanina.
Fighting climate change in particular, both in Africa and in Europe, we are interdependent.
Our intake of refugees has been going up in recent years.
Today's markets and today's life is no more a question of common sense. It's a question of knowledge, understanding.
We have task forces that patrol the markets, the communities, and to ensure that certain fires do not occur.
Good afternoon and welcome to the sports edition. My name is Eric Kwame Jesse. Now let's look at what we have for you this afternoon in sports. Some local news there. Former Liberty Professionals captain Samuel Safo has revealed several big clubs in the country approach his management for his services before opting for FC Saipa in the Iranian League. In an exclusive chat with GNTV Sports, the defender said his current target is to be part of the Ghana squad for the 2018 African Cup of Nations.
So, right after my contract ran out, that was last year, I had a lot of offers from, the big clubs here in Ghana.
Oh, okay.
I had an offer from Aduana, Accra, Tofo, Asante Kotoko, Karela, a whole lot of clubs approached me, and even Edina Sharks. So it was time for me to make a decision, at least to either to stay or to move on. And I had offers also from outside.
Okay.
It is everyone's dream to play outside, at least to get that development and that exposure, at least in the international scene. Played for the Black Stars, played for the local Blasters, the Wafu tournament. At least I've seen that stage. So I decided to at least challenge myself and see if I can make it to the other end, which I took that decision.
Okay.
Yes.
By what means?
I am working towards that. I want to be part of that history because I have the belief that Ghana will win. So I need to be part of the history. I just have to work hard. That is my target. If it doesn't come, I keep working. But I've been there before. So what shows I can't be there again? All I have to do is to just concentrate, do what I am doing now, and work as how the coach wants.
Okay.
I've been there before, so I know how the coach wants. So all I have to do is to just keep pushing.
So Samuel Safo is no more with the Xylophone Premier League, but he is with the Iranian League. Now let's look at some news with our ladies. The national female under-20 coach Yusuf Bazigi has said he is impressed with the output of the invited players as the team prepares towards the upcoming Under-20 World Cup in France. Over 30 girls are currently in camp, and the coach hinted the number will be reduced very soon, admitting the absence of some key players is affecting the team.
So far, preparations have been very good, and just that the number is big. We are reducing the number to 26 on Monday because we are breaking them tomorrow to go and play their various league matches. So when they return, by the time they return, the number is reduced to 26 so that we can work effectively. Yeah, my chairman has been feeding me with every information that we need, and I think that it's going on well. So far, we are very happy being in camp, and the response too has been very good. It's not going to be long because they are working on it, just that we can't disclose because when your counterparts or your opponents have not confirmed the playoffs, you cannot conclude that you are going to this country or that country. But for sure, we are going to get about maybe 2 friendly international matches before the main tournament. Yeah, it's very possible, but what I can say is that we have to put everything behind us and work ahead of what we are going to meet. So we don't have to say because we have a blow for missing such key players, life will not continue. So we are going to work hard to get replacement, even though it will be difficult getting a potent striker like Priscilla Dubia. We may get similar and then supported by the other players.
Now with some tennis news, Serena Williams withdraw from the French Open clash with Sharapova. The 36-year-old 23 times Grand Slam champion, playing in her first slam since the 2017 Australian Open after maternity leave, told a news conference in Paris she had a pectoral muscular injury.
Yeah, I unfortunately been having some issues with my pec muscle, and unfortunately it's been getting worse to a point where right now I can't actually serve, so it's kind of hard to play when I can't physically serve.
Did it start before coming here, and has it just got progressively worse, or was it as you were playing? Because I know that you were doing doubles instead of practicing.
Yes, yeah. It didn't start before I got here. The first time I felt it was against Gergis in my last match. That's when I started to feel it, and I was like, oh my, it was really painful and I didn't know what it was. And so in my doubles yesterday, I tried a lot of different tapings and I tried lots of different types of support to see how it would feel under match circumstance. And it didn't really get a lot better.
Paul and then Tom, please.
Serena, do you have any idea when you'll be able to train again? And do you think you should be okay for Wimbledon?
So I'm going to get an MRI tomorrow. I'm going to stay here and see some of the doctors here and see as many specialists as I can. And I won't know that until I get those results.
Unhappy Serena Williams there. Now I know to some German fans will also not be happy hearing this particular news. PFA Young Player of the Year Leroy Sané has been left out of the Germans World Cup squad despite constant praise from Lowe and Pep Guardiola.
Bleiben Jonathan Tah, Nils Petersen und Leroy Sané.
Ist das die Zukunft. Ich glaube, Deutschland kann froh sein, solche Spieler wie die zu haben. Und ich glaube, die Zukunft ist mit den Spielern gesichert, was sie jetzt schon...
Und der Leroy hat auch eine sehr gute Entwicklung genommen. Ich glaube, das war die absolut richtige Entscheidung von ihm, zu Manchester zu gehen, seine Stärken irgendwie einbringen. Er ist ein hervorragender 1-gegen-1 Spieler mit seiner Schnelligkeit.
The most important thing from Leroy this season is his consistency during the game. So one guy, two guys can play good for a short period, but he was during a long period.
Leroy, sagen wir mal, auch den Unterschied ausmachen kann aufgrund seiner Schnelligkeit und seiner Torgefährlichkeit. Ist klar, ich glaube, dass er so ein bisschen stabiler geworden ist, robuster geworden ist jetzt in der Premier League.
So that's it for sports this afternoon. Entertainment is next.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Pamela Boateng, and in entertainment news this afternoon, veteran Ghanaian high life singer Rex Suma has said Ghana will be left with no other option than to legalize homosexuality in the country someday. According to him, there are people who were born with hormonal imbalances resulting in their homosexual orientation, therefore cannot be blamed for their condition.
The Abiba hitmaker, speaking to Bismarck Boachi, revealed that people are homosexual by choice. They have decided to be homosexuals, and that is their cup of tea. There are others who are also homosexual by nature. It is in their genes. According to Rex Suma, he is not one of the people who speak against them, because even in the whole wide world, there are two people who are homosexuals. There are also people who are human beings and also have rights, so he is not that person who talks down on them. When asked whether he thinks in the near future, despite Ghanaians' aversion to homosexuality in years to come, Ghana will legalize homosexuality, Rex Suma responded in the affirmative. He posited, "We will have no choice. Unlike prostitution, there is no one born to be a prostitute. It is a job of choice. But these hormonal imbalances, like hermaphrodite, you can't throw them away. So why do we have to infringe on their rights?"
Alright, so moving away from Rex Suma to Chinedu Ikedieze, aka Aki, and he has opened up on a rumored fight with Osita Iheme alias Popo. Many Nollywood lovers have been wondering why the comic duo no longer feature in movies together, but Aki has told Punch that all is well between himself and Popo.
Aki said, "I just finished shooting a film with my friend Popo. We have not been working together like in the past because we are both engaged in different projects. I am still shooting the Johnson's Family series. When they gave us a month break, I quickly went to shoot 2 films with Popo. I have kept many producers waiting, but some of them looked for other options. I am busy. Popo is busy too." Aki went on to add that there is no problem between the two. According to him, he no longer grants interviews because of the rumors people keep peddling. "The chemistry between Popo and I is still there, on and off screen, as he is more like a brother to me," he ended.
Dare you call my children these things? Hey, no, man, these kids, they have been insulting me here. I told you the truth. Look at you. This man is all about 40.
Alright, so we missed them already. Hopefully they come back with a banger. Now, finally, in entertainment news this afternoon, Hollywood director Brian De Palma says he is writing a horror film script based on the Harvey Weinstein scandal. De Palma, who directed the horror movie Carrie and the crime film Scarface in the 1970s and 80s, is following it very closely.
Mr. Weinstein has been indicated on charges of rape and other counts of sexual abuse after handing himself into the New York police last week. His lawyer has said he denied the charges against him. He explained, "I know a lot of people involved," the Palmer 77 said in an interview with AFP in Paris, adding, "I have heard stories over the years." He said that directors have to get actors' confidence in their love, and that to violate it on any level is just to him the worst thing you can imagine, just because of your gluttony or your lust. Hollywood has been rocked by allegations against Mr. Weinstein, with a large number of women coming forward to say they were sexually harassed or assaulted by the film mogul. Last week, Mr. Weinstein was arrested and charged with rape, a criminal sex act, sex abuse and sexual misconduct. The charges relate to incidents involving 2 women, one identified by her lawyer as a former actress Lucia Evans, the other unnamed. These are the first criminal charges to be brought against Mr. Weinstein, who denies non-consensual sex and is expected to plead not guilty. De Palma said that the script, which he has been discussing with a French producer, will aim to tackle such abuse in the industry, although his character will not be called Harvey Weinstein. He explained, "But it is a horror film with a sexual aggressor, and the story will take place within the film industry." De Palma also said that the hashtag #MeToo movement, the campaign against sexual harassment and abuse, could fundamentally change the subject of movies and how they are produced. He continued, it will be interesting to see when women start controlling the artistic, which is going to be a happen and also a possibility of movies about the male gaze. What the male seizes, Mr. Weinstein could face up to 25 years in prison if convicted of rape or a criminal sex act. Officials have said his arrest and charging was welcomed by his accusers, with the actor Rose McGowan hailing it as a significant movement.
Alright, so the question is, what will be the title for this horror film? Well, your guess is as good as mine. That wraps it up for entertainment news this afternoon. I'm Pamela Boateng. Up next is the foreign news with Anthony Simpson.
Thank you, Pamela, there for the entertainment news. Now into the world of the international news. At least 180 prisoners are at large after escaping from a jail in the Nigerian city of Minna during a raid on the facility. Now, according to Minister and Prison Authority official, gunmen attacked a medium security prison in the city in the central Nigerian state of Niger on Sunday around 8 p.m.
Interior Minister General Abdul Rahman Dabazu said that 30 inmates had been captured, but 180 fled. A prison service official added that the number of prisoners at large could be higher. Prison breaks periodically occur in the West African country, which is beset by security challenges, including kidnappings, banditry, and an Islamist militant insurgency, and communal violence between farmers and herders over grazing rights. Prison authorities have stated that an investigation was underway to determine the circumstances surrounding the raid and escape. President Muhammadu Buhari won elections in 2015 partially on promises to bring security to Nigeria. He plans to seek a second term in an election scheduled to take place next February.
Now, Libya's strongman Marshal Khalifa Haftar has announced that the victory of his forces was near in East Derna, a city controlled by Islamist and jihadist militias, and where the humanitarian situation is critical.
Forces loyal to Haftar have been conducting a military offensive since last month to liberate Derna, the only area in eastern Libya to escape the control of the self-proclaimed Libyan National Army he leads. This coastal town, located more than 1,000 kilometers east of Tripoli and about 3 kilometers east of Benghazi, is under the control of Islamist and jihadist militias since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. In a video posted on YouTube, Marshal Haftar stated that his forces had already cleaned up the Derna suburbs. He added that once Derna is liberated, his forces will deploy into the city to take total control of infrastructure, adding they will ensure the safety of residents and buildings by establishing security barriers. Haftar also asked his troops to respect the legal procedures relating to prisoners and deliver them to the competent organizations. The NLA, whose ground forces are supported by air raids and heavy artillery bombardment, have been besieging the city for nearly 2 years.
And now, U.S. prosecutors have accused Donald Trump's former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, of trying to tamper with potential witnesses ahead of his trial.
Robert Mueller, who is investigating alleged Russian election interference, stated that Mr. Manafort had contacted people related to his money laundering and tax fraud case in breach of his bail terms, although Mr. Manafort, 69, denies all allegations. they are not connected with allegations of collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign during the U.S. election. Mr. Trump denies any collusion and has consistently spoken of a witch hunt. Mr. Manafort's first trial on charges of money laundering and illegal lobbying is due to begin in September. According to Mr. Mueller's motion, Mr. Manafort contacted witnesses who would be called to testify about unlawful lobbying allegedly carried out on behalf of Ukraine's previous pro-Russian government. Mr. Manafort is said to have made tens of millions of dollars from a campaign to bolster that government's reputation within Europe and the US, but failing to register this work.
Now, that's it for the international front. But before we go, let's take a recap of the headlines. Registration finally begins at Jubilee House. Forgive us, Anita Desu begs Rollins on behalf of NDC. Legislature tasked to revisit LI funding processes for mental health. On international front, Nigerian police hunt for 180 escaped prisoners. And as all by way of a news at 1 p.m. here on GNTV from our studios here at Anyamikpapa Street Asylum Down. My name is Anthony Simpson. African Business News is up next.
Now, who is excited about the future? Me!
The future is here. Experience the all-new GN Electronics Smart TV. Experience international quality assembled right here in Ghana. For more information, contact 050-144-9465. GN Electronics. Good quality comes from home.
Do you want increase in sales? Or do you want to draw attention? Then mobile advertising vans from Digicat is your best bet. Our mobile advertising vans come with crisp digital images and visually impactful in the night and in the day. Reach your target audience where they live, work and play. Contact us on 0303-393-6020 or 050-132-8707.
Digicat, creativity in motion.
GN Life, we provide immediate cash payout to cover funeral expenses and also ensure the security of your child's education. Call us today to find out more about our Smart Child Plan and Passage Plan. GN Life. Every life matters.
Life is precious, Unya.
Do you know the number of people who get involved in road accidents daily due to reckless driving? Driver, endeavor to stop at right stops. Always avoid police confrontation. Passenger, did you know that walking is an exercise? Always walk to the right stop and alight at the right stop. Prevent unforeseen accidents due to your action. You could be a victim. Support in kind against indiscipline on our roads. Test TP to 3701. If you are on MTN, Vodafone or Airtel, you will be deducted 17 pesos. This is an ASPA initiative powered by Quick SMS Ghana.
Looks is everything to both the young and old. It is important to maintain a standard outlook that makes you stand out. Sigma Health and Beauty has the magic touch. We don't just make you over, we give you a superstar look. Your appearance is the best impression you can give about yourself, so make it count. For your wedding, birthdays, graduations, and all ceremonies, Sigma Health and Beauty will give you the most fabulous look. You can also walk into our shop for all your makeup kits. Contact us on 0248 138 596 or 0274 893415, or you can locate us at Georgina Stores in Accra, Rollins Park. Sigma Health and Beauty. Your beauty is our priority.
Hello, good afternoon. It's always a pleasure coming your way with African business news. My name is Edem Kungpe. Let's take a look at the headlines for today. Start off with the BRICS summit, where foreign ministers discuss governance, multilateralism and trade.